Good morning, and welcome to a Select USA spinoff event, Select Great Falls, Montana. I'm very pleased to welcome you virtually to Great Falls, Montana. This is our second annual Select USA speaker event or Select USA spinoff event, and I'm really we're excited about this. This is our opportunity to talk to you a little bit about businesses' experience here in Montana, a little bit about the tools and resources that we have to offer here in Great Falls, Montana, and hopefully give you a peek inside what it's like to do business here so that we can entice you to come and choose Great Falls, Montana. We have a great agenda for you today. We are going to kick it off, though, and this is the second year that I'm pleased to welcome Bill Burwell. He is the Deputy Executive for Select USA, and we want to give Bill the stage to kick it off. Bill?
Thank you so much, Jolene. It's a great pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me. And as you mentioned, it's great to be back for the second year, and it's a pleasure to work with your team, as always. For the folks on the line, thanks for joining today's call. This is a Select USA spinoff event hosted with Great Falls Development Authority. And this is part of the series that is a lead up for the Select USA Investment Summit, which will be taking place in just a few days. As mentioned, my name is Bill Burwell. I'm the Deputy Executive Director of Select USA. And I would like to welcome and invite you all to come to the United States, the land of opportunity. With an annual GDP of over $20 trillion and a population of over 325 million, the United States is the world's most attractive consumer market, offering unmatched diversity, thriving culture of innovation, and the most productive workforce. Companies of all sizes, from startups to multinationals, can find the ideas, resources, and market they need to succeed and grow. The United States has been ranked #1 for 10 consecutive years as the #1 investment destination by CEOs of some of the world's largest corporations. I'm referencing the Kearney FDI Index report, which we're pleased to highlight this year. And I think if you are not familiar with that report, I would suggest folks take a look at it and understand the rankings. And I think you'll learn some more details about why the US is the #1 location. Select USA cares about creating jobs and opportunities all across the nation. And our services include providing customized information and counseling, such as market research reports that help your company develop an FDI strategy that will enable expansion or establishment of your operations in the US for the first time. We also offer events and services that provide unparalleled platforms for connections and in-depth on-the-ground expertise at the state and local level. As mentioned, we're getting ready for our Select USA Investment Summit, which is in just a few days, and that will host approximately 3,500 participants, including about 1,500 to 1,700 international companies from more than 70 markets. I hope many of you will be participating in that, either in person or virtually, in just a few days, June 26th through 29. The Investment Summit is the largest in-person investment summit, and international companies of all sizes will be able to meet one-on-one with representatives from US states and territories, including Montana, and our hosts from the Great Falls, Montana Development Authority. This year, in addition to the in-person meetings taking place, attendees will have the ability to meet and connect virtually for 1 month using our networking platform. I'm also pleased to note that the Select USA Tech program and the Select Global Women in Tech Mentorship Network continue to grow exponentially through the Investment Summit. The interest that we are seeing from tech companies, whether they're startups or established tech firms, continues to confirm that the future of tech is here in the US, and investors should really be focusing on this for their next location. So with that, I want to turn back to you, Jolene. Thank you for including me this morning. And I look forward to hearing about the great program that you've put together and all about Great Falls.
Great. Thank you, Bill. Really appreciate that you're being here today and being part of this. Next, we'd like to welcome, and we are welcoming virtually, Director Osterman with the Montana Department, the Director of the Montana Department of Commerce. As many of you may know, Unfortunately, Montana has some flooding going on. We are open for business and getting it cleaned up, but some of our officials have a lot of that they are taking care of. And so we are welcoming Director Osterman virtually. Let me see here, make sure I can do this. There we go.
Good morning. I'm Scott Osterman, Director of the Montana Department of Commerce, welcoming you to this virtual celebration of foreign direct investment in the Great Falls region of North Central Montana. Thank you to the Grow Great Falls Montana team for the opportunity to kick off things today and talk about something I'm really passionate about. Montana is open for business to companies across the globe. We have many strengths to offer, including our proven capacity for international relationship building. Foreign direct investment, or FDI, typically brings significant capital investment and job creation that is welcomed in communities across our state. FDI in rural areas of America has a bigger impact than it does in other areas of the country, with the average value of an FDI project in a non-metro area 89% higher and creating 26 more jobs than in a metropolitan area. Additionally, Montana is a low-risk state for foreign direct investment, and our state government is very stable. Our standard corporate tax rate stands at 6.75%, and we're focused on cutting red tape and reforming our tax code to promote business investment and job creation. The Montana Governor's Office, along with the Montana Department of Commerce, are committed to supporting companies achieving long-term success by working alongside the Montana World Trade Center, the Montana Manufacturing Extension Center, and economic development organizations from around our state. Together, we support existing in-state FDI in order to retain and expand upon positive relationships already established. We enhance our understanding of organically occurring FDI in order to create an even more welcoming investment environment. We strengthen economic ties between Montana and strategic international markets and improve the state's identity globally with a unified approach to increase interest in our key industries. Montana has a proud track record of success attracting foreign companies in diverse industries, including those from Canada, France, Japan, and Spain. Many of them are attracted to our raw materials and our agricultural production, including wheat, barley, sprouted grains, and beef. Here are just a few examples of companies who've chosen to do business in the Treasure State. Marubeni, Nippon Corporation, ADF International, Shell Bar, Anheuser-Busch, Columbia Grain, Mitsui, Glencore, Rocky Mountain Biologicals, GlaxoSmithKline, Forecast, and Safran. And there are many reasons why the Great Falls, Montana market specifically should be on your list of places to consider when positioning your company for strategic growth. They include that business operating costs are at a 92% of the national average with low renewable electric rates. The low cost of living is 89.7% compared to the national average. Great Falls offers 24/7 customs, a foreign trade zone, and a Category 1 all-weather international airport. It's also located on the CanMex Interstate 15 corridor from Calgary, Alberta, Canada to Mexico. It's home to a BNSF certified rail agri-tech park, and Great Falls is an established ingredient food and beverage agri-processing hub where high-quality agricultural commodities from the Golden Triangle are in abundance, and also pure water is very much available. Workforce incentives and custom workforce trainings across the office and industrial skill sets are available, and Great Falls' advanced manufacturing sector is supported by a pipeline of customized talent, beginning in its public schools and continuing through its community college. In closing, Great Falls means great opportunity for your business. As you've heard, its diverse economy includes a mix of homegrown businesses and national brands across bioscience, food, agricultural processing, steel fabrication, energy, logistics, and back office call center operations. And let's not forget to mention the advantage of its location. Situated on the banks of the Missouri River east of the Rocky Mountain foothills, the Great Falls area is home to about 80,000 people and is a top 15 small city for business and one of the nation's most livable communities. This exceptional area is defined by great schools, safe neighborhoods, excellent healthcare, diverse arts and entertainment, outdoor recreation in every direction, and of course, our world-renowned beautiful Montana landscape. Thanks again for the opportunity to talk to you today about all Montana has to offer FDI investors. Don't hesitate to reach out to the Grow Great Falls team, who can arrange site and location tours customized for your business, and the Choose Montana team here at the Department of Commerce for more information about why Montana could be right for your business. I wish you all an enjoyable conference and much success ahead. Thank you.
Well, I'm so pleased that Director Osterman was able to join us. I know that he's taking care of our other Montana communities, making sure that they are wide open for business, especially during this peak tourism time. But what a team member to have on our team, as you could see from that. We are so pleased to be able to work with Director Osterman in the state of Montana. I get to introduce another team Montanan. I'm pleased to introduce Frederick Vandenbl. Frederick joined the business attraction team with the state of Montana last year and has been going full speed ahead since. He's going to share a little bit about some of these state resources that we can bring to the table in your investment in our communities. So Frederick, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you so much, Jolene. Good morning to everyone, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about my favorite subject called Montana. And, you know, I was recently on a site visit, and visitors from foreign countries, when we were exposing them to Montana about what we have, the answer was, who knew? Who knew Montana had such great assets? And I hope to convey some of that with you today via this PowerPoint. So let me hit my share screen. Host disabled participant screen sharing, Jolene.
I am fixing that for you right now, Frederick. There you go.
Okay, thank you. Here we go. Let me hit share and oops, go up. So again, my name is Frederick Vandenbl. I want to welcome everyone today with the Department of Commerce. And can everyone see my screen? The main title? Okay, perfect. So Montana, again, based on that foundation of who knew, we are continuing to get discovered. Earlier this year, a very popular individual, Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank, he recently, in partnership with some client companies, invested in Montana. And I wanted to highlight this phenomenal quote, right? Giving Florida and Texas a run for their money. We have a pro-business regulatory environment, competitive taxes, and leadership, which I will further explain in today's presentation. But again, we are getting noticed by some business leaders such as Kevin O'Leary. We are strategically located. Some people sometimes question their interesting positioning here, and I wanted to bring this to your attention. So you'll notice where Montana is. If you are serving both Western Canada and Western US, well, we're in the middle between those two regions. So, and we're very well rail connected, as Jolene will point out, and other transportation infrastructure. But again, Western markets in Canada, US, Montana is strategically positioned. Something in Montana that is very important to us are our values. And I wanted to kind of expand a little bit about what these mean. Accessible leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so happy to tell you that access to federal and state, local, regional leaders in Montana we are accessible. We are here for the people. I know that other times, other places might be more difficult to access your public officials, but this is a Montana trait. Jolene could pick up the phone right now and speak with U.S. Senator John Tester. Like, send him a text, right, Jolene, and just chat away.
We do.
We also believe in conservative business principles, right? Helping companies grow their business with some proven principles of growth. We are a big believer in the free markets and fiscal responsibility. We manage our books very well. I think Montana is one of the only states that has like a open transparency checkbook. You can see exactly how the state spends their money, and it's very easy to access. A lot of business leaders tell me they love that transparency. We are a limited government state, and by being a limited government state, that means our tax state is also less. We also firmly believe that government should be out of the way to let the free markets do what they do best. And so we are less regulated, what I call a light regulation state. And I have a slide on this. I think you're really going to be impressed. And by far, the best value are small town values. A lot of people, when they come to Montana, they ask, what does it take to be a Montanan? And I tell them, I'm like, you need to invest in your community. You need to participate, volunteer, help your neighbors. You're going to be able to strike up business deals, networking with other Montanans. You might find it a lot easier to do business here. Just find the networking and the people are open-minded than maybe some other places. So these are very important values to Montana. We have a diversified economy, but we continue to grow in those areas. And Great Falls has a little bit of each of these. So I'm particularly loving Great Falls because they're doing a big regional push to further diversify their economy. So these are all represented in our state. Workforce, you can't have a discussion about expansion or FDI without an important topic about workforce. And the biggest point I wanted to bring to bear, there was a study by the Montana Department of Labor, and Montanans have employers are reporting less staff turnover by employing Montanans than in other locations that they have in other states. So we are a loyal bunch. And some people in some countries, that means a lot. I was recently connected with the Japanese. The Japanese are also very loyal to their employers, so there was a lot of symbiosis. We believe in deep Montana values, punctuality, teamwork. And if you've not experienced hiring a Montanan that grew up on a farm or ranch, and we talk about a phenomenal work ethic, well, wait until you hire someone with prior experience working on a farm or ranch, and then you're really going to see work ethic in action. So that means something. Excuse me. According to World Population Review, very happy to report that last year, Montana had the highest high school graduation rate in the country. Another thing of importance, STEM degrees are the most popular chosen and awarded degree type within the entire Montana university system. So a lot of companies are wanting more and more STEM leaders. Well, this is the state. STEM is popular in this state. And we are supported by a very robust university system. And I would never want to discount our tribal colleges. Montana has a rich Native American heritage. And so we have a good enrollment in that regard for your future workforce needs. I'm also happy to report on a net per capita basis. We are an inbound state in terms of where people want to move to. You want to grow your workforce with the state who is gaining population. And we are one of those states, in fact, one of the highest actually. And so this is a place where people want to go. And that helps, of course, with workforce needs. In the legislature last year, we did introduce some new business tax incentives and policies. The one of the ones that I'm particularly excited about is the Magnet Act. It exempts the sale of capital stock from any capital gains at a state level. That was spearheaded by our governor, who was a CEO of a tech company himself. We also tripled the exemption of business equipment tax, so less equipment is subject to any tax at all under that regard. We continue to invest in more workforce training and upskilling packages, such as the Job Growth Incentive Tax Credit. In addition, there are new loan programs. The Small Business Credit Initiative, of course, ARPA had allowed us to provide some funding. And if you're not familiar with CPACE, if you're looking to renovate an existing building, for example, want to make it green energy, there are certain tax advantages in doing that. And Great Falls, the county where Great Falls is in, was one of the first to adopt the CPACE in the state. So again, it's just another showing of leadership from the Great Falls community. There are a wide variety. I'm not going to go into each of these areas, but I will tell you that for every type of business need, whether it be competitive financing or grants, job creation programs, whether it be property tax exemptions, job training subsidies, there is a wide variety of tax programs that are available to you as you come to Montana. And my office, along with Jolene's office, will work with you and consult with your company on identifying the grants that are most relevant to the needs of your company. We continue historically to be very well favored by the Tax Foundation, the number 5 in the country for state business tax climate. That's something that we're very proud of. Also, we're one of the only states that does not impose a sales tax, particularly useful if you are a manufacturer buying equipment. And since there's no sales tax on electricity and many other things, so that could be an advantage to you. There was also a study done for individual personal taxes, and Montana has one of the lowest personal tax burdens of all different taxes you pay throughout your entire lifetime. So we are a state in which your money does indeed go further, particularly in this inflationary environment. You want your money to go further. I will tell you that we have an excellent business regulatory ranking. So I am a remote employee in the state of California. No surprise there that California is viewed as a very burdensome, highly regulated state. But look at Montana, 60,000 pages of regulation only. This makes us one of the least regulated states in America. You'd be surprised to know that Texas and Florida have a lot more regulations, and these could really impact your business because regulations can impose language like shall not, cannot, may not. I implore you, Montana is a light regulated state. We are open for business, and we are, this is an area in which I feel we excel, lighter regulations here. We are very competitive electric markets, particularly for larger users. The ability to choose, again, remember that value. We're a believer in the free markets. Well, that also goes to the ability to choose your utility providers for larger users. And we have a competitive rate structure. According to the National Association of Manufacturers, Montana offers the lowest manufacturing labor costs west of the Mississippi River. So if you're expanding to America looking for a Western location, again, we can add a significant amount of value. Also, according to the Kaiser Family Foundation, employer health insurance costs in Montana is one of the lowest in the Western US, another cost advantage for you. And this is all paired up with what we call proudly in Montana, with Jolene's help, the red carpet tour with white glove service. You will experience a tour within Montana that is purposely built to address your specific needs and wants to make sure that your project is very successful. It's what we call the road to Montana. My office will be engaged with Jolene. We do a confidential site tour. We introduce you to utility partners. We develop workforce programs. We identify tax and incentive programs. This is a highly customized and curated tour specific to the needs of your company and the industry in which you're located. So please, the road to Montana is at your disposal. And finally, again, I'm an out-of-state employee for the state in San Jose. But again, I love Montana with all my heart, and I really appreciate everyone's time and attention today. Jolene, back to you.
Great. Thanks, Frederick. We really appreciate your enthusiasm and your expertise when it comes to site selection for Montana. And we've partnered on several projects now here in the Great Falls area. And that white glove service, it really truly is something that we're very proud to offer. And concierge services is what we also like to use. We have the pleasure of having two business CEOs with us today that we're going to interview. But before we do that, I'm going to give just a tiny bit more context as to Great Falls itself. And I'm going to do this rather quickly to make sure that everybody is focused in on the region that we are focused on. Great Falls, Montana is centrally located in Montana, and we are an industrial city. We have hydroelectric dams. We were built in industry, and that just continues today. And I have a quick video to show you.
We are the Montana city that creates opportunities, that offers affordability, ease of living, and authentic Montana character. We're a global food and agricultural production city, advanced manufacturing city. We are a back office operations and headquarters city. We're an entrepreneurial city. We are the base camp to explore Montana's great outdoors. We're a proud Air Force city. We're a tech city. We're a healthcare, education, sports, music, and arts city. There's more to our damn city than you'd expect. For a manufacturing company, this is a place for high productivity and low operating costs. For a food or bioproduct company, this is a place with access to world-renowned agricultural resources. For business operations, this is a place with hardworking, dependable, skilled workers. For an entrepreneur, this is a place to create, innovate, and thrive. For all of us who live here, this is a place where the doors are open to untame your spirit and truly live. Together, we're building the best place to open, expand, and innovate. We're focused on your long-term success. Together, we are Great Falls, Montana.
And as Director Osterman and Frederick pointed out, Great Montana really is poised to serve both the central and the western halves of the United States and Canada, which is why some of our foreign direct investments have come about, ADF International, Nippon, Friesen Nutrition, and others. Our transportation infrastructure is multimodal with access to rail that can serve all of the US and Canada, access to air transportations. We are a 24/7 airport with customs. We also have 3 private jet centers. We see a lot of private jets clear airspace into the United States out of Great Falls. Our airport never closes. I should knock on wood when I say that. It hasn't in the past because we are ready for anything. So 365 days of air service out of Great Falls with 4 direct flights to Denver. Denver is the largest airport in the United States now. You can go anywhere from Denver. Oops, there we go. We are on the CanMex corridor going all the way from the tip of Canada up beyond Edmonton, all the way down to Mexico with all of those great cities in between to access your markets. And then the east-west is the I-90, just a short drive down I-15. We're a proud military community with Malmstrom Air Force Base and the Guard. Our veteran population is a lot higher than other United States and Montana cities at 14%, which is fantastic. It gives you a solid workforce to build from. We are a healthcare hub for the state of Montana, and right now we are working on our first medical school. We have a diversified economy with manufacturing, business operations, and regional services. Of course, our defense and our arts and entertainment. Some of our major employers in industrial include ADF International, CHS, Calumet, Montana Refining, Lowenbro, and the others on here. Pasta Montana Nippon, 30% of the pasta made here, which is 85 million pounds annually, goes over to Japan and is available in Family Marts and at other locations in Japan. Our non-industrial, of course, our healthcare, and then back-end headquarters, regional headquarters and US headquarters Companies find that it's a lot cheaper to do business here in Great Falls with our operating costs, just 87% of the national average. So having your IT, your accountants, your human resource professionals here in Great Falls, Montana, saves you a lot of money as you open locations across the US. And our cost of living is just 93% of the national average. We're affordable. As you heard from Frederick, the 5th best state for business tax climate, long-term support from local and state leadership. We really can reach our federal and our state leaders. Montana is very stable, and so is Great Falls. We're a low debt state and a low debt city, so you can count on that for years to come. And we do have a certified sites available now. I'm going to wrap that portion up though. Stop this, because you don't want to hear from me. You want to hear from businesses that have actually made their investment in Great Falls. So I am very pleased to welcome my friend, Ed Friesen, who made the choice to invest in Great Falls several years ago. And there we go. Ed, are you there?
Yes, hi, Jolene. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for joining us this morning, Ed. We really appreciate you giving us your insight on doing business in our market. There you are. Hello.
Right. Hello.
Well, let's start off, Ed. Would you just describe your company's history a little bit and how you ended up choosing Great Falls?
Sure. Well, I started to work with producers here in the state of Montana from Alberta, Canada, in the early 90s after I finished university. And we provide a highly concentrated vitamin trace mineral micro macro concentrate for supplementing feed for poultry and beef and pork. And so I've been coming to Montana for quite a while, and really enjoy it. So really enjoy working with the producers here.
Excellent. And tell us a little bit about advantages for Canadian companies choosing a Montana location like Great Falls region.
Well, the proximity is one. We're only about 3-hour drive from Lethbridge to Great Falls, and it's the business atmosphere, the agricultural focus, and the determination by producers in Montana, and we really like working with Montana producers. They sometimes there are some challenges that we face as far as commodities, getting commodities here at a decent price, especially now after the pandemic and during the pandemic with the increased freight costs and so on. So we can actually provide products from Canada a lot of times cheaper because it's closer and it's in Canadian dollars. So with that conversion, the Montana producers have an advantage. So working with the Montana producers is always a pleasure. They're so down to earth and focus on the details on how to become more efficient, and especially now with the high grain prices. It is really important to balance the feed properly so they get the most gain out of the feed that they're using. So, yeah.
No, that's great. And I'm glad that you pointed out that being the proximity to Canada so that you can get some of your inputs from Canada, depending on what the market is. That's smart business.
Yeah, and we got approved for a special use permit last week, Thursday, as you probably know, for building a premix facility, manufacturing facility here in Great Falls on land that we already own, about 8 miles outside of Great Falls. And we're really excited about that. We're just finalizing some quotes and obviously right now with material costs being at least 20 or 25% higher than it was before, we we're careful in what the input costs will be to actually build the facility, but we're anticipating that by March next year, we will have a brand new facility up and running here in Great Falls, and that will further enable us to distribute a wider range of commodities and become more creative and balance the feed with various other proteins and energies, and which may not be available as readily right now, and so we are excited about that.
So are we. Thank you for choosing Great Falls for your expansion. That's a great project. Ed, what have you learned along the way from being a Canadian company locating in the Great Falls region? What have you learned along the way that would help other companies as they're looking at making an expansion like that?
Well, Montana has a lot of labor available if you look in the right places. Most have farm experience, and I'm specifically speaking about my niche, but so I'm always focused on agriculture. Montana has very low tax base. That is absolutely true, and it has the infrastructure here, rail and roads. That is absolutely true. It is a wonderful place to do business, and we have experienced that. It's very easy to work with local business people, and although I personally have not been in contact with any government officials here, I'm told that it is very easy to get together with them and to discuss plans and work together on various projects. So there's so many things as far as working and living here in Great Falls. It is true. It is a lot cheaper to live here, and there's so many things to do, outdoor activities, museums, and there's a lot of talent here. A lot more than meets the eye. I, for many years, used to just drive through Great Falls and spend maybe 3 days in the United States, in Montana especially, and then not really take in the culture or take in the local life. Now, these last couple of years, I have actually stopped and get to know a lot of Montanans, and it's just wonderful. There's a lot more than meets the eye. So
That's fantastic, and we're really pleased to have you as part of our community. It's really nice when we have a business that invests and then continues to invest and then says, you know what, I want to be here too full time. So welcome. We're excited to have you here.
Thank you.
What else? What haven't I asked you that you would like to share that might help a company that's evaluating if Montana is the right move for them?
Right now, well, there are some challenges that we have, and there is obviously the benefits of doing business in the state of Montana are have already mentioned. Low taxes and infrastructure and labor being available here. There are some challenges though, like as far as distance of some commodities that it has to come, that obviously adds costs. And there's a lack of processing here in the state, which we're also working on to get that moving forward, so that livestock can actually be processed here in the state of Montana rather than sending it out and having processed elsewhere, having the value added right here. It is really with the team of GFDA and other support, it really is an opportunity. I call it virgin territory. Montana is virgin territory. It is ripe for the picking. It is ripe for development. It is ready for growth, and I would much rather do business in Montana than any other state, actually, to be honest with you. And it is so nice to be able to meet face to face, to look people in the eye, and just have a real old-fashioned relationship develop as a result of it. So anyone interested in discovering what Montana is all about as far as the business environment is concerned, they're going to be pleasantly surprised that this is the place we need to move forward.
That's great. Thank you so much, Ed. We just really appreciate your thoughts, your input. I can say that all day, but everybody knows that that's my job. So having a business owner from your perspective say, no, this really is the right environment to do business. Just thank you so much. Really appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Thank you, Jolie.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day. We are now going to turn to Morgan Tweet. Morgan is the CEO and co-founder of Hemp. And Morgan, we really are excited to have Morgan join us as well. Morgan talks about emerging industries because her industry, she was on the front end and is on the front end and cutting edge of an emerging industry here in Montana and the US. So Morgan, are you there?
Yes.
There we go. It should flip over to you. The screen should. Let's see here. Excellent. Well, I am going to ask you to begin, Morgan, by describing your company and the growth of your industry, please.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me on here. Like you said, my name is Morgan Tweet, and I'm the co-founder with my dad, Ken Elliott, for a company called Hemp, short for industrial hemp. And in the name of our company, we work with industrial hemp products. So we contract with local producers here. We only contract for grain and fiber materials. We're not in the cannabinoid space, but really true traditional agricultural products, both for food, feed, and fiber and industrial applications. And so we came to Montana for a lot of reasons. The big part is just the agricultural infrastructure that's here and the producers that are here. And industrial hemp is a really great rotation crop for the existing farmers and producing models. And so we set up manufacturing. That is an emerging industry. It was just legalized in 2018 with the Farm Bill. And so as a new industry, we still have a lot of hurdles. I'm sure a lot of people have their own connotation for what they think, hemp is still. We're still working through a lot of those stereotypes and unknowns. And I have to give Montana a lot of credit. They have been so welcoming and open arms, from our Department of Agriculture to the governor to our senators. I think anyone here in the state has heard of us and has been here if they can, which is just really a testament to how forward thinking and progressive the state is as a whole. I really like to say that Montana has an opportunity to be a national leader for hemp production. And I really think they're latching on to that and pushing it forward, which is huge. We've invested over $25 million in the last couple of years to build infrastructure here in Fort Benton, which is actually outside of Great Falls by about 40 minutes. And so we're a little bit more in the rural communities, which I really like to advocate for as well, that Great Falls is well situated, that you can service a lot of those rural communities because of the airport and other things. Great Falls is kind of the hub for many of these smaller communities, which are just great for development, and they're prime. I'll echo what Ed said, it's really ripe for development. And so our infrastructure here is the first step in the supply chain. We convert the raw materials that are being harvested off the fields, and we add value to them, making them mostly into bulk material that we're selling into other manufacturers. And so it's kind of our broken record too. We're trying to get people to come co-locate with us here. Logistics, no matter where you are in the United States right now, are challenging. That's just a reality. And so, everyone is feeling that no matter where you are. And so if we can be strategic about where we're adding locations and who we're partnering with, then I think everyone can leverage those resources a little bit better. And so we're really big advocates for those things. Our materials touch a wide spread of industries and markets. And so, we can be talking food in the morning, feed in the afternoon, industrial applications in the evening, and then a lot more to come to that. So we're pretty fortunate to be in a very diverse industry. And like I said, Montana, Great Falls especially, has been very welcoming and supportive of something that they didn't have to be, right? If you look at the history of industrial hemp and cannabis, a lot of states and a lot of communities have not been so welcoming. And so I just, hats off to Great Falls and the state of Montana for seeing it for what it is and looking at the opportunity and really leveraging that.
Well, and thank you, Morgan, and seeing it for what it is. It truly is a really emerging industry with so much opportunity, and you've opened our eyes to that. I appreciate that you spoke about locating outside of the metro hub, Great Falls, and choosing Fort Benton, which is phenomenal. I think it might give our participants and those who view this afterwards a little bit of context. You have a state-of-the-art facility that you've built and expanded. And could you talk to us just a little bit about your facility and your lines of business to give them context as to, look, you can locate in a smaller rural community where you have that direct contact, but you still have workforce and you still have are able to build these state-of-the-art facilities?
Yeah, so our business model, we're purchasing raw materials, the stalk, the straw material off the farm, or the seed. And so logistically being located close to those producers makes a lot of sense for us, right? We're converting those raw materials now into more value added opportunities. So on the fiber side, we harvest the straw, or the producers harvest the straw, bring us in bales, and then we convert it into cleaned bast fiber, which people think of like textiles and nonwovens, your hemp clothes. That's what that is made out of. And then the inner core of the stalk is called hurd, which is almost like a woody-like material. So animal bedding, absorptions, biocomposites, there's a huge space there. And so we've built the US's largest decortication facility. And so we're open here. We always have an open door policy. We want people to come here and take a look because it's new. They don't quite understand it. And then when they get here, they realize the magnitude of it and the seriousness of the opportunity for a supply chain here in the US. And there's a lot of ideas of how we can complement each other. On the food side of things, we have another facility. So we kind of operate a campus here. We have 3 buildings. One's our office, our fiber facility, and our oil seeds. And so at our fiber facility, we convert, the raw grain that's coming off the field. We clean it and we either convert it into oil and protein or into hearts and wholes. And so it's a FDA approved facility. We're making high quality, food grade products that are going straight to the table. And we also have co-products, right, that are going into animal feed and others. And so it's just, the full supply chain is very diverse that it can touch on so many of these points. And Fort Benton, I do have to shout out for Fort Benton. It's the town of 1,500 people. It's located on the Missouri River. It's beautiful. We like to say that all roads lead out of Fort Benton because this is where the first fort in Montana was. Very historic, Lewis and Clark. So if at a minimum, if you're a history buff or like the story of the expansion into the West, Fort Benton has to be on your list to go visit. And they've embraced us with arms wide open as well. They applied for economic development grants to help build our industry parkway. They continue to support us. And I will say, not just Fort Benton, but Montana in general, there's this very cohesive relationship, I feel, between communities and the businesses. We're investing in the Lions Club for a golf tournament this weekend. There's summer celebration, and we've sponsored a band to be there. And it's not just I&D Hemp. I mean, the list of businesses that support, community events like this is just forever long. I don't think anyone's not on that list. And I hope that just shows, that there's an investment from the community members to support their businesses. So we heard from Frederick, of these are homegrown farm kids. That is absolutely true. Your workforce has been grown and bred, for the last 20 years to really be hardworking, to take ownership over their task. And it shows in their job and their performance. And so we're very fortunate. We've grown we just started really commissioning in 2020. So we've really only been in production for 2 years. And we've grown from 3 employees to almost 40 employees now in just the last couple of years. And I love to say that, almost everyone who we've been able to recruit locally, and just being able to see the workforce kind of grow and embrace. And they know that they have gaps, right? The infrastructure isn't quite prepared, but they're really proactive about addressing those things. And I know that the governor is behind it. I know that they are providing funds to support this growth in this program. So you shouldn't be intimidated if not all your boxes are checked, because the state and Great Falls is really working hard to address those problems.
Well, that's fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. We've touched on most of these aspects of doing business here in North Central Montana. What advice would you have for a company that's not a foreign company or other, somebody out of state that is looking to expand and considering our region?
Yeah, we're a giant state, but our population is really small. So I like to say like we're a small community in one state. So I would really reach out to the Development Authority, because it's crazy how everyone knows everyone, right? And it's all about connections. I don't care where you are in the world, like that sentiment is the same no matter where you are. And so it's all because we're such a big state but close community. There will be people who have connections that know what's on the horizon, know that a building is coming for sale in a few months. And so like I really truly believe that there aren't very many states still like that, and definitely not towns, larger cities that really have that connectivity, because they have the population that just restricts that, right? When you have a city that has millions of people in it, there's no way that you can have all these touch points. And so I really advocate for you to reach out to the Development Authority, start there, start the connections. If the solution isn't obvious right away, like don't give up, right? Like I said, it may not be Great Falls, but it might be, one of these surrounding little towns. And everyone's really humble enough to know that like, if it's not the right fit for your business, they're going to help connect you for other things to try and make it work. So maybe it's Helena, maybe it's something else, but we're really excited and want Montana to grow in a healthy manner. And so Great Falls isn't going to push something on you that isn't the right fit for your business. And they're going to work with the State Department. They're going to work with Frederick, and it's just going to be a good cohesive team effort to try and find the right solution for your business.
Thank you. Exactly. That's what I like to say too. It's like, what, if Great Falls isn't right or somewhere in our region, we'll even connect you with partners, not just in Montana, if you determine Montana is not right. It's all about business success and those relationships. Building strong relationships together benefits everybody, because at some point there will be something that comes back. I mean, it's that what you put out in the universe kind of mentality. So thank you. We appreciate that. Your insights have been phenomenal today. What have we not covered that you wanted to touch on?
I just think, my personal experience, what I've had, is pretty unique to what is, we're working on federal language. We've passed state legislation. And so from a policy and regulation perspective, I've had a really unique vantage point into how willing the state is able to work with us and support us. Like you guys mentioned, like Tester, lives 45 minutes from me. He's been to our facility multiple times. I know that I can call him or his staff member. We're working on some language. And so maybe that doesn't apply to your business, but hopefully it just gives you the confidence that they're willing to move mountains for you, right? And they're willing to go the extra step, and they know their constituents. They know these communities. Montana is obviously a large ag and tourism state. That's, the two things I think we do really well. But those constituents obviously are very diverse within that. And I think that they do a good job of knowing that, understanding how the communities can embrace and can fit and complement businesses. And so it's just, I think, a great state for us to invest into. We need to see the opportunity, and we need to invest. Because there's no way for us to capitalize on the great things all of our businesses are trying to achieve if we don't put forth the effort and the resources now to make that, make that future a reality.
Yeah, well, and that's exactly what you're doing with IND Hemp. We thank you for being in our community. Thank you so much for choosing to be in our region and in Fort Benton, which you're right. Fort Benton is the most picturesque little town that does big things. You know, the community comes together so well, and your being there is so important. Justin is on the call today, and I know that he wants to continue to help work to attract other businesses that you need to grow your business here into our region, so that we can just keep the sky is the limit with IND Hemp, and we're excited to have you. Thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, guys.
Excellent. Well, this brings us to our close, and I would love to wrap up with some thoughts from Cascade County Commissioner Joe Briggs, who also will be joining us at the Select USA Summit in Washington, D.C. this weekend. Joe, are you there?
I am. Good morning again, Jolene. Nice to see you.
Thank you. You as well.
Well, I'd just like to first of all thank GFDA for putting this event together, and the folks from Select USA as well. And to the presenters today. Individual business owners can do a far better job of selling what we've got around here, because their own experiences are what really matter to you. As sorry about that, we have electronic lighting systems, and I hadn't moved in a while, so I just lost my lights. Energy efficiency is so much fun sometimes. At any rate, I'd like to thank those of you who joined us online today, and for those of you who are going to be watching this in the future. When we've done these in the past, we've had quite frankly, more people join at their own leisure time after the fact than we do during it. The presenters did a great job today, I think, of explaining why Cascade County and the Great Falls region is a place that's open for business and a place you need to look at. I guess I would just add, in my position, I serve on some national boards, so I travel the country a great deal. And I'm always amazed that people still think that Montana is in the 1880s. You see televisions, you see movies, and you think, geez, do they even have real cars and all of those things? The reality is Montana has all of the modern things that you need to do business, but we still have the old small town attitude about how to do business. That's a remarkable combination that you don't find anywhere, in my opinion, except in the Intermountain West. And so don't assume that there is something you can't do in Montana, because if you come to us with an idea, this team and the people you haven't met today will do everything we possibly can to find a home for you in Montana, or like Jolene said, if it doesn't work in Montana, we'll assist you to do it elsewhere, because our goal is to build the entire region. So with that, I hope to meet some of you in person next week at Select USA in DC. And thank you for joining us this morning. Jolene, back to you.
Great. Thank you so much, Joe. And thank you to everybody who made this our another successful Select Great Falls spinoff event. This is our second annual, and we're really pleased to be able to offer this across to show this glimpse into our region. So thank you for joining us. Thank you to our speakers. Thank you to everybody who was behind the scenes. We really appreciate you, and we'll see you in DC for Select USA. And anytime you want to come out to Montana and get that white glove concierge service with the red carpet, please don't hesitate to reach out to Frederick, myself, any of us really, and we will make sure that you can have an excellent business trip and really see what we have to offer your company and partnerships. So thank you much. Have a great day, everybody.